Join me in our opening prayer, and Vernon is going to light our unity candle. Thank you, Vernon. Let's just take that pausing breath. Breathe in deeply and exhale completely and slowly in kindness to the body. Each of us arrives here this morning from very unique and individual paths. And now we come together collectively, allowing the process of breathing to begin setting aside everything that has been and coming more fully present together in this moment, in this place, for the intention of the Sunday morning service of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Find yourself comfortable, find yourself welcomed. And today I open our service with such gratitude for everyone that's here and for a unique opportunity that we have with our special guest speaker this morning. And I know that the presence of Spirit is in, as, and through Reverend Patty, and that her message is crafted by the divine to meet and greet everyone that's here, and that everyone here is in turn open and available to both give and receive. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Presence of Life, for all of this and more. I release it into the law with the heart of a child, and so I let it be, and so it is. And now it is my pleasure to officially welcome you to our service this morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Vicki Jeter. I'm the senior practitioner for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Rick this morning is away serving his family. And so it's my pleasure to be here. And I want to invite you all to know that we are an inclusive community. We honor all paths to the divine. And if you notice the symbol on the screen now, the spokes all come into one unified center, so that wherever you are on your spiritual path, whatever your understanding of God and your spiritual truth is, we honor you and we are grateful for your presence with us this morning. So thank you for being here. And now we'll begin with our opening song, We Welcome You Spirit by Kai Lee.
We welcome you, Spirit, as we gather here to love one another in ways you make clear. We lift up our hearts in joy and open our minds. We welcome you, Spirit, in this holy time. We welcome you, Spirit, as we gather here to love one another in ways you make clear. We lift up our hearts in joy and open our minds. We welcome you, Spirit, in this holy time. We welcome you, Spirit, in this holy time.
And now it's time for our sacred reading and meditation this morning with our practitioner of the week, Miss Pat Ferguson.
Good morning, everyone. This morning I'm going to read a little something from the 2010 July issue of Science Mind magazine. I was looking for something and this just grabbed me, and I think it will you too. A quote from Emma Curtis Hopkins: "No word can express your understanding of God. You are it." And from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, page 343, "The only God man knows is the God of his own inner life. He can know no other." Practitioner Catherine Sachs says, "I'll never forget the day I read the above quote from Emma Curtis Hopkins. As an expression of God, she was saying that all I had to do was look at my life to see what my God was all about. That really shook me up. So how big is your God? Is it small and frugal, insecure and unworthy? Does your God have a sense of humor? Does your God play well with others?" These may sound like funny questions, but underneath the humor is a very real truth. Once we learn that we each are one with God, then we must begin to acknowledge that whenever we say, "I am," then what we are also saying is, "My God expresses itself through me as." When we say, "I can't," we are also saying, "I don't believe my God can." Putting it in that way brings a very different perspective to self-talk. It really does, doesn't it? The underlying belief about who we are quietly and explicitly goes about outpicturing in our lives. The more our unexamined habits of thought separate separate us from God, the more skewed our expression of God becomes. When I want to check in on my underlying understanding of the nature of God, I look around at my relationships and my affairs. They always give me the opportunity to grow a bigger God. And our affirmation for that day is, "My God is vast and wondrous and magnificent. I grow my life to match my ever-expanding understanding of God, grateful that God says yes to my every effort." And so it is. And so we move into meditation time. So I would ask you to get comfortable and relax and take a few deep breaths. This meditation this morning, I'm calling a love note from God. I'm going to read you a few sentences before I read you the love note. In the dark of night, or in some circumstance of stress or hurt or fear, you have only to take a moment to slow your breathing and relax. When you have become still and quiet, you may hear a soft whisper from somewhere deep inside of your being. Who is speaking? It is you. There is only one, and you are part of the one. Oneness is that pervasive universal life force and energy interpenetrating and connecting all that exists. What is the whispering voice saying? Listen to it now in this love note from God. You are my precious and cherished child. You are held in the cradling safety of love, always, no matter what. You are perfect as you are. In your life and in your being, everything is in divine right order. You are here because I brought you forth out of my need for you. You are exactly as I want you to be, and you are the fulfillment of my idea for you. I am always with you, guiding you and guarding you. Stop and listen to me. Listen to my whispering voice whenever you feel alone. I am here. I am there. I am everywhere with you. You are my beloved, and I ask of you only to love yourself as I love you. All is well with you. You are my creation, in whom I am well pleased, because you are my precious and cherished child. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Pat. Let's just take a moment to let that in. And now we'll be moving to our special music for the day, Love Cover Me by Gary Lynn Floyd.
Time's unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. And with every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony, play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love, 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 love. Sing that with me. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred, and guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love cover me. Love cover me.
Now, it is my very favorite time of this service, personally. I get to introduce to you our guest speaker today, Reverend Patty Rumpza. Most of you have probably heard Vernon and I saying that name perhaps over the years. Vernon and I have known Reverend Patty since we were at Creative Life in Houston, long before any of us knew we were going into ministry. And Reverend Patty has been a catalyst in our lives ever since. She is a trailblazer in Centers for Spiritual Living. And her blazing of the trails started when, in her first ministry, when she was licensed as a minister, she started a work in Houston called LifeWork Center. And that is so significant to us because LifeWork Center is actually the first Centers for Spiritual Living that Reverend Carolyn stepped into. And we started out then, it was in a motel. And it was so awesome and so genuine. And Reverend Carolyn came in, and I knew she would tell you guys that she came in, and that first Sunday with Reverend Patty's message and the love that we had created, Reverend Carolyn said, I knew for the first time I was spiritually home. And that launched Reverend Carolyn into her journey, which brought her here and developed us. And so we're so grateful for that. And then Patty then actually went on and also was the senior minister, the principal minister for Centers for Spiritual Living Grand Junction in Colorado. And that gets significant because she was a minister at Grand Junction when Reverend Rick was the minister for Parker. And so we found out that Reverend Rick was going to Parker, and we said, oh my goodness, you must meet Reverend Patty. And so all these paths have been crisscrossing for all these years. And finally today, I introduce to you our beloved Reverend Patty Rumpza, and take it away, Patty.
Hello, thank you. Gosh, I forgot about all of those tentacles that have intertwined us together. Vernon and Vicki and I have been friends for, Vicki and I met in 87, And Vernon and I met later when he finally found us. I always joke because I always remember Vernon's very first Sunday at a Science of Mind community, but that's for a different share. Wow, I am so grateful to be with all of you today, this morning. Pat, I just want to say the reading that you chose just touched my heart. Just touched my heart, and that love note was simply beautiful. Oop, I've got to set my timer so I don't go over. We'll do my best on that one. So when Reverend Rick, when I talked to him, I said that I would do my best to speak on the topic of CSL, and this year is all about evolutionary vision, timeless wisdom. Today, actually, when I had seen the printing, it's actually we is greater than me and going further together. And I just, as I'm sitting here witnessing, because I hadn't participated in one of your services before, I'm just struck by how amazing it is that there are so many people from so many different states and how far and wide the reach of this community is and how far and wide the reach of what you're doing is. And so first and foremost, I want to acknowledge each and every one of you. I want to acknowledge your leadership of knowing that Vicki has been this powerful force of holding things together, her and Vernon, and of pulling everyone together, because Vicki is all about connections and all about synchronicities. If we look up connection in the dictionary, her face is probably there with it, because that is what she does in life. And so I want to acknowledge your leadership, Reverend Rick, all the practitioners, all of you who, if you didn't participate in this, it couldn't be. That during this time, it's an exciting time that we're living in right now. For some of us, we're calling that excitement like, oh my goodness, you know, because it's filled with so much trauma, so much upset, so much change is taking place on the planet. However, it is also as a time of the great change that is unfolding something even better. And your community, those communities such as CSLs and Unities and New Thoughts and all of those, what we call them, are playing an important role. And I want to remind you of that this community, your community, is important in the unfoldment on this planet of actually realizing the teachings of Ernest Holmes is that we're all one, of actually experiencing those teachings. So thank you for the work that you do. So how do we go further together? Is that we can go faster by ourselves, and many of you know that if you've ever worked with anyone, that sometimes you're just like, just let me do it because I can do it faster. I don't have to explain. I don't have to do this. And it absolutely works for a while. And sometimes situationally, that may be best. However, when we're looking as a collective, as the world, as the United States, as Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, we go further together. Because one of the most important things on this planet right now, and I'm going to break it so it's not so big, because being our planet can be very abstract. I want us to come to your local community, this community called Louisville, your CSL community here, and I want us to break it down to the United States. What is necessary in going further together is a deep, deep level of connectedness. Right now, we are not experiencing connectedness on all levels within our society, within our world, within our family, within our relationships. And so first and foremost, our job is what the meditation was about, what Love Cover Me is about. It's to recognize that love is the connector for each and every one of us. Love is the connector. Ernest Holmes says that what we must do, if we haven't done it already, is we must love. And if we're not loving everyone, start now. He's real plain and simple, isn't he? Just start, just do it. Just begin to practice. I believe that in spiritual communities, that one of the things, the beauties of it is it allows us to practice the principles and our values that we say we live. Because for many of us, our automatic inclination is just to be in the head, and we want to read, and oh, isn't this lovely? And our teachings are lovely. New thought philosophies are absolutely lovely. But until you drop down to your heart, until you begin to practice and experience it, it's nothing more than mere words on a piece of paper, and it will not change anything. Having information up here in your noggin, which many of us, because we're inclined to liking to read and to study all that, and that's beautiful, we must experience it. So love cover me. Love cover me during this time of so much change, of so much challenge, of so much uncertainty on the planet. First and foremost, we recognize what that love note says. I am here. I am there. I am everywhere. So we ground and anchor ourselves in our spiritual principles. We must really become clear of what we are here for. Why do I show up every day? Why do I wake up every day? For some of you, it may be to love. For some of you, it may be to be happy. For me, I absolutely, with every fiber of my being, I believe in creating a world that works for everyone. I'm committed to ending suffering on our planet. So that's my driving force. So in order to do that, I must connect. All of you, as in the Louisville community, in this community, you connect. So what you've discovered is being virtual brings great blessings, and it also brings some challenges. For those of us who are touchy-feely, oh my gosh, do I miss hugging and touching people. My dog gets so much hugs and kisses that he's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. We miss that. However, for some of us who would rather not hug anyone ever, we're like, woohoo, this is great. So we have to recognize in each and every moment within the challenge is a blessing for some and not a blessing for others. However, we must work a little bit harder. We must do a little bit more than we did before, because to connect virtually is a different medium. And so part of what I like to do is I like people, and that meditation was just so beautiful, is that when we start is to, when you see everybody on the screen, send out from your heart rays of light to each person that you see, and to those that you know who are not here today, because your community is bigger. And so you want to, let's pause just for a moment and let's send out the light to everyone that you can see on the screen and those that aren't there. And just take a moment, just turn within, taking a deep breath to your heart space and send out light. See it connecting, heart to heart, heart to heart. Okay, open your eyes. And now in your mind's eye, look at those lines going across. Pat had said there's 8 states and there might be some additional countries. Look at how far and wide your reach is. Connectedness. With that connectedness, because we're with people we like. We're with people we love. So with that connectedness is love. So while we all love one another, imagine that when you begin to connect and send those tentacles around to your state or your city or your family or the country. I am one that believes that our country needs a lot of assistance right now. The entire earth does, so you can be broader and send it to the earth. But see that as those rays of light are spreading from Louisville to Arizona, to Texas, to Oklahoma, to Pennsylvania, that those are traveling, there's love. And that everyone that comes in its path is being impacted. That's how we go further together. All of the universe is conspiring for our good, now and always, and it's powerful. Maybe some of you can feel the power of the energy that's taking place on our planet, because we are here to connect. So how do you practice this in your individual life? In your individual life, what you do is you begin to make meaningful connections with people who are in your house, with your family, that you begin, and Louisville will, I'm sure, explore more ways that you can connect more frequently to uplift and support one another. But you begin to look at that person who is having a behavior that you are finding so horrible, or that you're judging, or that's really just making you mad. Let's be real, right? It's because they don't feel connected to anything or anyone. It's because they have lost that connection with the divine that is within them. And so while we'll give a reaction, that only allows them to separate and pull back more. This is a time that we were born for. I absolutely believe it with everything that I am. We have prepared for many years to be here right now on planet Earth. And that means that we must absolutely practice and live what we say we believe. And so love cover me is Ernest Holmes, love. If you haven't started loving, loving. And so what do you do when you have a person who is so darn challenging to love, that has absolute behavior that may have hurt you, may have harmed you, or are just doing things, if you watch the news or TV or are walking down the street, or I've been traveling a bit and I have seen people have behavior that I just have to pause. Like, I've seen more meltdowns from adults in the past month than I have ever in my life. And the first thing is I have to catch myself, because you're right, we want to go into a reactionary mode. But then I remember, what am I here for? And I pause, and to the best of my ability, and I don't always manage, just to be real, I don't know, I'm not always successful in this, but I pause and I see that picture ahead of me, the person ahead of me, and I go to my heart and I send them love. I send them light, because for them, this moment is meaning something to them. And the behavior comes out in ways that are not becoming. It's why we've become so unkind on this planet. It's why we've become so divided. And do I think that that division is going to stop anytime soon? Maybe, maybe not, because I think that those of us who say we have spiritual practices and are here for a spiritual purpose, we have to rise up and we have to practice more powerfully. And when we practice more powerfully, and when we send love more powerfully, and when we become more compassionate, more forgiving, then it will reflect around the world. It's up to us. We are responsible for the world in which we live in. This is not the time to be apathetic, and many of us are apathetic, and many of us are just plain tired. We are just tired. And just so you know, I can't read the chat and talk at the same time. I figured that out, so I hope it's not for me. We're tired. And so we recognize and we acknowledge our tiredness. And we remember, for your community, other people are tired too. Other people who are serving are tired too. And so we see, how do we extend compassion? How do we extend forgiveness in spiritual communities, just like in everything else? And I know your community has gone through some change besides COVID in the last year and a half, not quite sure the time frame. And we get hurt and we get angry and we become disappointed. And that is why I believe, again, that the divine constructed this thing called spiritual community so we can practice. So we can practice forgiveness. So we can practice compassion. Because if we can't do it for those that we love, how do we do it for our neighbor that we don't know? How do we do it for the person walking down the street? And there are many tools for forgiveness, but we practice. I belong to a group that I was participating in early this morning. Every month we're going through a forgiveness process, every single month, to see, what else do I need to forgive? Who else do I need to forgive? As a minister of 21 years, oh my goodness, can I tell you how many people have been disappointed, upset, angry, hurt by me? A lot, if you ask them. And all we can do is the very best we can do. So I encourage you that if anyone is having any hurt for anyone in your community, practice extending compassion. do your own inner work, because we all, in order for us to go further together, we all must do our own inner work. It does not happen magically. It just doesn't poof away. You don't attend enough Sunday services that all of a sudden it's just gone. It's not how it works. The community becomes stronger because each one of us is willing to do our own inner work. And then we bring that wholeness to this greater community, and we say, yes, we're going to shine brighter together. Yes, we're going to love more powerfully together. Yes, we are a light on this planet. So we practice compassion within your spiritual community. We practice compassion within our family, because part of what we tell ourselves, and our brain is set that way, it's actually designed that it will hold on to negative, that it sees the negative, and it's actually a neurological function within your brain that happens with. And so we see the negative, we see what's wrong, we hold on to what's wrong. And my invitation to all of you is to begin to rewire your brain by seeing all that's right, by seeing all that's good, by seeing all that's wonderful. And so if you have an individual where that is upsetting or hurtful or harmful for you, and that has, practice forgiveness, practice compassion, which just is that you're opening your heart, and even though you don't understand what is taking place, that you know that there's something larger, that for that moment, that person may have forgotten who they were, that they did the best that they could do. And I can tell you that, you know, for some of us, we hold people up on pedestals, and I swear it's just to knock us down. I really do at times, you know, and we do it to our friends, we do it to a lot of people, because it's hard. It's hard to accept our own humanness. It's hard to accept someone else's. But we're here because we're spiritual warriors. And we're here to love. And in that connectedness, we practice compassion. We practice love. We practice forgiveness. And if it's something, so you do it in this community, if there's anyone in the community that has ever been or is, you begin to practice that. And you can do it by simply beginning to send them light and love, and beginning to address and just acknowledge your own hurts and your pain, and say, but I'm still here. But I'm still here, and I am here for a reason. I am here for a reason. And you practice that. Then you practice it with your neighbor. And for those of you who really want to be strong and intense, you practice it on the person that you find so challenging. You begin to first take them into your heart. That's the easiest way. And you begin to ask your divine, let me see them how you see them. Let me love them how you love them. Let me hear them as you hear them. Surround them with love and bless them. Bless them on their path. Bless them. We don't have to attach anything else, because we actually don't understand what another person's journey is, even though, you know, sometimes in my life I thought I have. So we bless them. And then we're taking that connectedness and we're strengthening it around the globe. We're taking that compassion and forgiveness and we're strengthening it around the globe. Every time each and every one of us here does something that's uplifting, it uplifts the entire planet. It uplifts everyone. People will come in contact with you. They may not have any idea about you, what you're doing, but they can feel something, that they're touched somehow. We never know whose lives we're touching. And I just find it so powerful and so magnificent that this community is spread across the country. And for me, that just means that those highways of love are here, so you're reaching people who may not know that what you're doing is uplifting them, that may not know that what you're doing is loving them, that may not know what you're sharing is kindness. And so I ask you, as we grow further together, that's how we go further together, is we do it because we collectively, and hopefully, and you may do, and I have not looked at your calendar, that you have times when you can come together, when you can do group prayer. The World Peace Meditation is always at the end of the year. That's a time because we know the impact and the power when we come together as a group. And there are many things that do it more frequently, that they're doing a monthly peace meditation. But when you see something, join it, because then you're adding your love and your light to uplift this planet, to practice being love, practice being in community, because people feel disconnected. We feel it because of COVID. We feel it because of social media. We feel it because we're busy. We feel it because it's harder. There's many, many reasons. And the bottom line is we don't have to understand any of them. The only thing that we have to understand is that we are here to love. We are here to be the light. We are here to practice compassion and forgiveness. And quickly and finally, and one of the last things that you can do is to give of yourself in service, even when you're tired. I'm not saying, I'm a big believer. I've just had almost about 20 months of rest. But give of yourself of service, because remember, people need you. They need your light. They need your love. They need to be uplifted. So your practice that I'm going to invite you into this week and this month is when you look out, if it's a community member here, or if it's your neighbor or your family member, or somebody in your community, when you look out and you find what's so aggravating before them, because aren't we good at it? Are you good at it? Come on, you're good at finding like, oh my gosh, they bother me. I want you to then flip it, you acknowledge it, because I do not believe in pretending it's not happening, because it's happening. And then I want you to think of something that is a good quality, something to lift them up, to rise them up, to raise them up, something to support it. See something. That is what Namaste means. The divine within me sees the divine with you, and there we are one. So practice, and if possible, let them know. Let them know what they mean to you. Let them know the gift that you see with them. Let them know, how magnificent. And you can do that to strangers, and strangers might think you're, interesting. And they also may be the first kind word they've heard all the time, all day, all week. They didn't think that they're noticed, because people don't think that they are seen. So how do we grow further together? We go further together by us, people who are committed to spirituality, to deeply practicing and experiencing that which we say we believe. Does it take work? Yes. Do you have a fabulous team of people who support you? I know you do, because I know two of them, three, Vicky and Vernon and Tammy Sheets. And Pat, I heard her fabulous prayer. So I know you have a team of people. Practice this in the world. We need you. The world needs you. You are important spiritual light on this planet right now. With all of us doing our part, we will absolutely create a world that works for everyone. So with that, let's turn within and go to prayer. And I just rest in this gratitude for this group of powerful spiritual beings who are spread across the country and the world right here and right now, who have dedicated their time to coming together this day to form a community, who have come together even if they were not aware of the going further together, who have come together and have committed of their time and their energy and their light to creating a world that works for everyone, to being a place of love on this planet. So I recognize right here and right now that the one overflowing love of life is everywhere, it is everything, and it is all through, in and through all things. And that where each of us is, that we are immersed, we are covered, that every cell of our body is radiating and reflecting the infinite unconditional love of life itself. And as we breathe into that space, We are inseparable from unconditional love. So we go with ease into the world and we begin to powerfully, unconditionally love one another. That with ease and effortlessness, that we begin to offer great compassion and forgiveness for our fellow human beings and for ourselves. That we no longer keep a scorecard of all the wrongs that have been done, but in this moment, we simply let them go. Because we know that there are times that we have been disconnected and that we offer this same grace and compassion to our fellow brothers and sisters on this planet. And so I accept and acknowledge in this moment that each one of us connects to that spiritual power that is within them. Each one of us connects to the gifts that we are here to share. Each one of us begins to spread more joy, more love, more peace, more compassion on this planet. And that when we need support, we clearly reach out and ask it. We ask for that support because we model healthy community. So for this time, for this opportunity to share with each of you, to connect, to meet new family members, I am so deeply grateful, absolutely knowing that we are blessed beyond a measure, that we are totally supported by the love of life itself now and always, that the divine is saying, I am here, I am there, I am everywhere. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. So for this time and this opportunity, I am grateful. And with joy and gratitude, I simply allow it to be. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you so much. That was fabulous. We really appreciate you, Reverend Patty. We're moved now into our time of prosperity. And here I have my little basket with all these lovely notes. You see all these? These are all notes that come with your tithes, your support. And I can't tell you how much these mean to us. I share them with everyone unless they're personal just to me, then I keep that to myself. But when they're to everyone, I send them to Reverend Rick, to Vicki and others, because we want to take this in and we want to take the opportunity to bless you for supporting us. Vicki has her little basket there as well. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to say our prosperity affirmation. Let me get it up on the chat. I'll say it once and then we'll say it together. The love and light of spirit radiates peace, prosperity, and happiness in my life. Yes. Say it with me, please. The love and light of spirit radiates peace, prosperity, and happiness in my life. Yes. And now I will do another blessing just to let you know and spirit know how grateful we are for your support. To the God that brings us all good things, to the spirit that is within each one of us, I bless this support, this generosity, and I bless the people who send it so freely and so lovingly. And so it is. Amen. Okay, next up, announcements. We'll give Vernon a little time here to get the announcements up. In our men's group, you know what I always say about the men's group. I don't know what they do because they won't let me come. But anyway, it's Thursday, October 24th at 6:30 p.m. via the Zoom link that got you here this morning. So join them and find out what they do and report back if you can do that. But have fun with men if you're indeed a male. And the next one we don't have a slide for because I'm just going to say it. It's trick or treat time, and on October 31st, Sunday, yours truly is going to be the guest speaker and do her first talk ever after 10 years of being a practitioner, you know, and being encouraged and encouraged and encouraged. I finally have decided, yes, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I ask you to be here, support me, and critique me, because I would like to have the confidence and courage and the skills to get better and better and to be here more often for you. And last but not least, one of our most important announcements, you are magnificent. And don't ever forget that. Okay, now we're going to go right into our closing song, the song that thanks all of our frontline workers. It's called Good Job. We mean this from the heart. This is the One Voice Children's Choir doing this. Enjoy.
You're the engine that makes all things go, and you're always in disguise, my hero. I see your light in the dark, smile on my face when we all know it's hard. There's no way to ever pay you back. Bless your heart, know I love you for that. Honest and selfless, I don't know if this helps it, but good job, you're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, 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 yeah. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, 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 yeah.
6 in the morning, as soon as you walk through that door, everyone needs you again. The world's out of order, it's not a sound when you're not around.
All day on your feet, hard to keep that energy. I know when it feels like the end of the road, you don't let go, you just press forward. You're the engine that makes all things go, always in disguise, my hero. I see a light in the dark, smile in my face when we all know it's hard. There's no way to ever pay you back. Bless your heart, know I love you for that. Honest and selfless, I don't know if this helps it, but
Good job, you're doing a good job, a good job.
good job.
You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, matter, matter.
Good job. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, 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 yeah. The mothers, the fathers, the teachers that reach us, strangers to friends that show up in the air. From the bottom to the top, the listeners that hear us, this is for you. You make me feel love. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now,
Thank you so much to our first responders, our healthcare workers, our mothers.
Thank you to our moms and our dads.
Thank you to our teachers who've helped us.
We know it's been hard, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Now we move to our benediction. And as you all know, Reverend Rick says every week that we played the song that it's hard to benedict after that song. And I just affirm that he speaks the truth. Let's just take another nice deep breath together. Breathe in and make room for everything we've heard. And exhale completely together, relaxing and releasing and letting go. Good job. Oh my goodness. I absolutely have faith that every single person that has been in this immediate experience would stand up and say, Reverend Patty, you did a good job. And what I want everybody to remember is that we can only see in each other what we have in ourselves. And so with the feeling that you have right now, having received this incredible encouragement to be love, to extend compassion, to practice the immediacy of the tools that we know we have to grow the world that works for everyone, to recognize that in this moment, you are doing a good job being who you are as that blessed child of the One. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Presence of Life. I just release it knowing that it's done. And so it is.